So I grabbed this Kribbel Krabbel Kuschel games for little mice of this publisher that deals with the children in Switzerland. So just so you know, I was expecting a woman dealing with a child. But as we are in the elite agenda, I can tell you it gets worse. Because it's all sexual in here, these games. I mean, you cannot tell me, like, after these, you have seen the pics, harmless games. All of a sudden, it turns like this, where, of course, a child, you know, memory, and then listening to recordings. This is no game, because if you record something, on the recording, when you listen to it, it doesn't sound like the one thing you have been recording. Everyone that does audiobooks knows this. So when you hit a ruler onto a table, it will sound like a pistol shot. Hello? So this is no game anyhow. Then why is these kids naked? Tell me. They have some garment, but all over, when you look at it, it's kind of two naked kids. Then when you have a kid, it should not be like this on a adult's leg. It's just not okay. It's this sort of preschool, and also here the leg should be on the child's stomach and not between its legs. And then this kid should not be leaning forward as if though we could look into its cleavage. And then also kids should not be splashing liquids around and should not be depicted in a bathtub unless it's your private photos. And again, bathtub, too much of that bathtub going on in here. And then look at this picture here. Like here it's a bit about eating and this and that. And this and that. I wasn't really, you know, here kissing. Hello. Subliminally, this picture is not okay. It's a minor. You should not depict minors like this. And then also sitting on the crotch of some adult is not okay for this hide and seek game. And look at this kid's expression while drinking. Couldn't they have chosen a better picture instead of this kind of luscious thing when it's about, you know, building domes on your bed with stuff? This is just all in all not okay. Also, you know, I mean really, you know that the elite wants us to preschools will be taught about sexual practices and about the human body, whereas it's much too early. We all know age 1 to 7, kids have to learn how to breathe, how to digest, how to walk, you know, how to keep their own head upon their spine, things like that. Then later on to maybe use a scissor, use a pencil, you know, things like that. Use, eat. Use a glass. From 7 until puberty. No sexual teaching you need to do. It's just about topics. Kids then will themselves look for some kind of a leader that will teach them things they are interested in. It could be their parents or it could be someone else. Just the topic they're interested, they will follow then. They will ask questions from 7 on. And then when puberty hormones set in, you can teach them about the adult life and stuff, or give them a book and wait for their questions. You should not go and tell the kids things when they have no need for it. This is before they are 7 years old. Or 13 years old, like when they ask you, you answer, of course. But you shall not, even when they are 14 years old, until they are dying in their deathbed. When someone is not asking you something about sexuality, you are not allowed to show them, teach them, or give them any information that will upset them, because it's such a special topic. It's not like eating. You cannot go about it like with foods, telling people this is healthy, this is not. It's a personal choice, and it should be like this also for the kids nowadays. You should have this, your private journey upon sexuality, and nobody shall tell you go on the internet and look at all the videos on YouPorn, and then you are like, I don't want to have anything to do with this in the first place. Even though you have seen stuffs, you will then still be like, you can, to behead people. I don't go and Google that and look at it. I don't want to know. So it's the same with sexuality. If someone would go and tell me, this and that, then I go like, looking somewhere else, disgusted. I don't want to know. So you shall not give your children any information they have not asked for. If they ask you, then you answer. And you don't answer in this kind of silly way, like, there is a bee going to the flower and stuff like that. You answer them, yeah, well, you have an organ, and then, depending upon how old your kid is, you answer. So then it can be their private, personal journey into sexuality, and they can discover, because even if they have seen stuffs when they are at school, people show around stuff on their handhelds. Look at this and look at that. You can see that in the official transport system when you see the kids looking at stuff. Of course, they see a lot of bullshit, so you of course get kind of perplexed kids nowadays. But if they have no answers, questions, you don't need to come up with answers. If they see bullshit, like we did as well, like a farmer that it was said that he's kind of having sexual relationship with his cows. You go like this, but I didn't ask, what is this farmer doing with his cows exactly? I wasn't interested, so I didn't ask, even though this was kind of a gross information that I got in when I was a kid. So leave it at that. When they are not asking you, you don't go. Preschooling kids need no access, no teachings about sexuality. And school kids don't need it as well. Only when they get into puberty, you can start telling them, don't deal with the boys or you get pregnant, And you go to a doctor and you don't get the pill because it's not healthy. You tell your children stuff like this when it's needed. And you also, wait for the questions. You don't go saying, this and that is possible. Like, a teacher of mine wanted to tell me about something you do to yourselves, if I can put it like that. She really came into the room and went, we have organs and do this and that, which was not okay. So I can tell by my own feelings it wasn't good. Battery is low, so I cannot do a 15 minutes video on this crab snuggling games, which is not okay. Kids should not snuggle with any parent, just with their, adult, just with their parent. So this looks kind of weird to me. Much too young parent for this kid. End of book review.